Chapter 1. AKANKSHA. February 12th, 12:58 p.m. present day. My phone vibrates against the table just as I am closing my laptop for lunch. The cabin fills with the faint hum of laptop fans and distant keyboard clicks drifting in through the glass partition. Mira sits to the left, facing the wall, scrolling through her phone, one eyebrow raised at whatever reel has caught her attention. I sit at the center, facing the door, while Nisha occupies the right, still typing furiously. I turn my phone face up without thinking. A photo memory notification appears. 1 year ago. For a second I don't open it, I just stare at it. My thumb hovers midair, suddenly aware of the date at the top of the screen. February 12th, not the day of the photo. Still, close enough. A small, almost involuntary smile pulls at the corner of my lips as I tap the notification. The photo fills the screen instantly. First floor supermarket corridor. Valentine's Day poster on the glass wall. Pink background, red hearts. Cheap decoration tape, slightly peeling from one corner. And right in front of it, him. Rogov. Standing, eyebrows slightly raised, half amused, half confused, while I am pointing at the poster like it is the most serious thing in the world. I zoom in without realizing. He is looking at me in the picture, not at the poster. Of course he is. He always looks at the person talking, not at the noise around them. Even in photos. My chest feels oddly tight, but I press my lips together and exhale slowly, locking the phone for a second before unlocking it again. As if the photo might disappear if I don't check it twice. AKANKSHA, Mira drags my name dramatically, leaning over. Lunchtime, your daily guest will come any minute. I don't look at her. I am still looking at the photo. 1 minute, I murmur. Nisha notices before Mira does. She always does. Her eyes flick from her screen to my face. Memory? She asks casually. I nod. She doesn't ask what memory. She already knows what it is. Of course she knows. My phone vibrates again in my hand, but this time it's just a random Teams notification. I ignore it and swipe back to the photo. The Valentine's poster is in the background. I remember how seriously I was pretending to speak that day, and how casually he answered. I let out a soft breath. Mira finally peeks and gasps. Oh my God, that poster day photo? You still have that? I don't delete memories, I say, locking my phone and placing it face down on the table. That is the safest answer, and also the truest one. From outside the cabin glass, I can already see movement in the corridor. People carrying lunchboxes. Someone laughing loudly near the pantry area. The faint smell of curries and spices slowly fills the floor as everyone begins their lunch routine. I sit up straighter without realizing it. I take out my lunchbox and place it on the table, but don't open it yet. Routine is a dangerous thing, especially when it includes a person. Mira stretches her arms and spins her chair slightly towards the door. He'll come, she says, grinning. Exactly one. Watch. Nisha doesn't smile. She just glances at the cabin entrance and then back at me. Are you still thinking about that memory? She asks softly. Yes, and? I shrug. Nothing, I say lightly, just a memory. Mira snorts. A 1-year-old memory is not just a memory. That is story material. I ignore her, but my mind doesn't. My gaze drops to the table as my thoughts drift. A soft knock on the glass door breaks the silence. 2 gentle knocks. Not loud. Not hesitant. Just familiar. I don't look up immediately. I don't need to. I already know. Mira slides the cabin door open before the 3rd knock, as she always does, and the corridor noise spills in for a second before settling again. I lift my eyes. Rogov stands at the entrance of the cabin, holding his lunchbox. His hair is slightly messy, and a faint line of sweat rests near his temple. He must have walked fast. Again, am I late? He says, calm, slightly breathless, always polite. Right on time, Mira announces dramatically. He blinks once. All right. Nisha chuckles softly. I finally speak. Come, sit. He nods and steps inside like he does every single day. He sits on the same chair, same side, same angle, as if the seat belongs to him unofficially. No one ever said it does, but no one ever takes it either. He places his lunchbox on the table, resting his hand on the lid for a moment. I slide my lunchbox slightly forward and glance at him. He nods once. We both open our lunchboxes almost at the same time. What did you bring for lunch today? Mira leans forward, already curious. Chapati and paneer, he replies, glancing briefly at me before looking back at his food. That 1-second glance is quick, but it never escapes me. Rajma and rice, I say. Nisha starts eating. Mira begins narrating some random office gossip. The cabin slowly fills with the soft rhythm of spoons, lids, and casual conversation. I pick up my spoon and eat slowly. Across the table, he tears a piece of chapati, dips it into paneer, and listens more than he talks. Like always. After a few minutes, he looks at me. You're quiet today. I raise an eyebrow. I am always quiet. He shakes his head slightly. No, today is different. For a second, I think about telling him. About the memory. About the photo. Instead, I take another bite and say, just work. He nods immediately, accepting it without asking anything more. That is Raghav. He never pushes. He waits. My phone screen lights up again on the table. Without picking it up, I unlock it, check a notification, and swipe it away. The screen returns to the home screen, where the same 1 year ago photo memory widget sits, clear and still. His eyes flick briefly to the screen, then to me, then back to his lunch. He doesn't ask. Of course he doesn't, and I don't tell. Outside the glass, people move towards the lift. Some head to the supermarket. Some wander after lunch. Some click photos in their UTDs. Same routine, same time, same people. Just 1 year later. I stare at the rice in my tiffin for a second longer than necessary. Almost exactly 1 year ago, at almost the same time, I stood in front of that Valentine's poster and said something that sounded like a joke. Something he accepted like it was nothing. Something I never forgot. Across the table, he looks up again. Are you coming downstairs after lunch? He asks. My fingers pause midair. To the supermarket? He adds. I meet his eyes. For a brief second, the memory flashes again, the poster, the corridor, his expression, my smile. Yes, I say. Let's go after lunch, Mira jumps in. We'll take reels also, Valentine week content. He smiles faintly at that, shaking his head. Almost without thinking, I unlock my phone and glance at it once more. The widget is still there on my home screen. 1 year ago, the screen fades to black. Some memories don't need reminders. I have been living inside this one for an entire year.